Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, we have lots of topics today, so let's get right to it. Lead story. There is an email or some information that the whistleblower has told the Senate and congressional oversight committees that there is direct evidence of meetings taking place with Hunter Biden, with Foreign National, with Joe Biden as vice president, where there was an exchange for money for a policy decision. And here is the punchline. It's at the DOJ and the FBI. Now, I want you to understand the gravity of that. The FBI and the DOJ have had this information and done what with it? Nothing. You know, Trump brings up Watergate all the time, and he's right. When you think about Watergate, okay, these burglars break in, okay? That was terrible, breaking into a part. But what got Nixon was the quote-unquote cover-up. These things are like on a whole different level higher than Watergate. I mean, it's unbelievable. If true, Joe Biden at 80 years old needs to be in prison. Hunter Biden needs to be in prison. It's truly amazing. And you know, as I pointed out in a video earlier, that if you notice, all these issues about Hunter Biden with Ukraine, China, all these foreign countries, it's never about doing something good for America. It's never about helping somebody out. No, it's about money for Hunter. They all have that common denominator. None of them are to help anybody except Hunter and the Biden family. They truly turned full-blown gangsters and never dreamt it would ever be revealed. And it wouldn't have been revealed if Hillary would have won. Never. But here we are. Fox ratings across the board are down 45%. I know how these big companies work, folks. I used to work for a big company like this, iHeartRadio, Clear Channel. They think that their platform is bigger than any celebrity, and they're usually right. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Tucker Carlson was one axe too far. And I was thinking about this, folks. You got Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Bill O'Reilly, Glenn Beck. Sounds like to me somebody ought to be talking about a Fox 2, right? It's truly amazing. Dan Bongino and others. History test scores, this ought to scare the hell out of you. They're down to like only 18% of 8th graders are proficient with history. What they're talking about is basic American history. You know, who's the first president? That kind of stuff. I mean, it's sad. And you know what? Does Fauci get to pay for this? Nope. Does Andy Bashir get to pay for it? Nope. Who pays for it? Our children and our entire country. Troops to the border? Yes. You hear about this? He said he's going to send 1,500 troops to the border. Kamala Harris always opposed this. This infuriates me. Allegedly, these 1,500 troops are going to go not to guard the border, but to do paperwork. You know who they're going to do paperwork for? The illegal immigrants. You're going to have soldiers at desks filling out forms for illegal aliens. You know, I said this first. I know, folks, you can go back 10, 20 years. You can go back when I was on 700 WLW radio. I said this first, folks. I said this first before anybody. Why we don't have American troops at our border guarding it. They're easy to supply. They're stateside. It's great for their families. It's so easy. For us to just sit there and watch this happen is treason. It's an intentional act. Well, this is unbelievable. Why all of a sudden we have special drag queen rights in this country? First Bud Light. Now, the Navy is using a drag queen to recruit. What? I mean, come on. What is it? Let drag queens be drag queens. Why do we have to accept drag queens? It's like we are going to force drag queens into everyday American life across the board, and you will accept it. Well, think about the 100 other things are we going to accept. Pedophilia? Well, it seems like they want us to, don't they? Anything that's sick and weird and oddball, we're supposed to all accept it. Push down our throats. World gone mad. Cruz says Biden is not fit, so to speak, to negotiate. He's just trying to emphasize that. By the way, Ted Cruz is an odd duck, okay? I went from not liking him to liking him, and I'm back to not liking him. Why? Because I was in a private dinner with 20 people, including Ted Cruz and his wife and President Trump. And Cruz was right there, and I'm thinking, what the heck? They're awful close. And Cruz has never endorsed Trump. And now, guess what? He's going to be with Kelly Craft. Kelly Craft. Oh, my God. Twitter used to have 10,000 workers. They're down to 1,000. Elon Musk basically said we don't need this many people to run this thing. Pretty interesting. Tucker leaks. They're not helping Fox any. They're trying to hurt him with leaks. By the way, what they leaked out, what he said about the Dominion machine lawyers, I agree 100%. Tucker said he couldn't stand the guy. Like, these lawyers from these big law, I can't imagine what the Dominion lawyer was like. Cannot imagine. The Atlanta shooting. They're blaming that the VA gave him the wrong drug that caused all this. I wonder if they would do that if it was a white guy that shot them all. Just saying. Just saying. Pac West Bank. Oh, they're just all, no, this is all, the banking thing is all, one bank. Now it's Pac West Bank. Pac West Bank is now in trouble. Crashing and burning. Like he's all, no, this is different, isn't it? What bank's going to be different? They're all lying to you. And you know what this one's about? Commercial real estate. And you know who warned us about commercial real estate? Warren Buffett's right-hand man, old Charlie Mooney. So I'm telling you, or money, tell you right now, crazy. By the way, a guy, I forget who it was, a commercial real estate investor in Cincinnati just filed bankruptcy, $100 million in debt. What's happening here, folks? Fetterman blames Dr. Oz for his depression. Boy, he's a good Democrat, isn't he? Dr. Oz picking on him during the campaign is what caused his relapse. You know what my theory is, don't you? He found out that he was not ready for prime time. Overwhelmed. He's like, oh my God. I mean, think about it. He had no reason. Pennsylvanians voted for that guy to be their representative in the United States Senate. Never get, and I will understand that, Pennsylvania, ever. Trump's quote-unquote rape trial, nice strategy. They decided he didn't testify and they're not going to put up any defense. They're just focusing in on the accuser who's obviously lying through their teeth. And this is a good move. This is the move that Bill Clinton should have done with Paula Jones. It's what he should have done, but he didn't. 10-year-olds at McDonald's. Now, I know a lot of people are like maybe upset about, you know what, I thought two things. Good for those kids working. Second thing I thought is that's how bad it is. They got to turn to 10-year-olds. All you that think this story's about child labor, I think it's about how bad the labor force is. And these two kids are working industriously to become workers in our community. Trump's up 7 points on Biden. That is widened in a head-to-head. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Bulldog TV local news. Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV local news, sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all our platforms. Well, the lead story is the Kentucky debate battles. I was left off Kentucky Sports Radio. Why? Because Matt Jones is a big liberal that doesn't like me, and he's bought and paid for by Joe Kraft. Now, I also want you to know that I kicked butt in the KET debate, pictured here, and I'm going to be in the Fox 56 debate, which is going to be broadcast across the state next Tuesday. Well, lo and behold, WKYT decides they're going to have a debate on Monday. And guess who they leave out? Yours truly. It's truly amazing. Now, you might say, well, why would they do that? Well, I'll tell you why they did it. They did it because I kicked butt on Monday night, and the state liberal media has ignored my campaign, and they do not want me against Andy Beshear because they know I beat Andy Beshear. So they want to see one of these weak, flawed candidates win. And anybody watching that debate at KET, if you think that you should nominate Kelly Craft, wow. I mean, if you're still voting, if you watch the KET debate and you're still voting for Kelly Craft, you need to have your head examined, or she owns you, because that was nuts. All right, long crime. Fort Mitchell man Bennett Couch has been sentenced to 20 years in prison after a recent guilty plea. He was arrested on child porn and bestiality in July 2021. Police discovered movies on his phone involving a sexual act with his mother's pet. A 36-year-old woman was shot and killed Wednesday night in West Price Hill. Police are searching for the suspect in his 40s in a red pickup truck. A local McDonald's franchisee has been fined for violating child labor laws by U.S. Department of Labor. Archways Richwood LLC of Walton was named in addition to 2 other franchisees in Louisville. Investigators found the 3 groups employed 305 children illegally, some of them as young as 10. I'm telling you, folks, that's against the law, but my guess is these people were desperate. In local news, the Monkey Bar and Grill in Mainville caught fire yesterday and sustained major damage. The fire reportedly started in the kitchen and took several fire departments about a half hour to put out. Damage was mainly contained in the kitchen. A 72-year-old James Ford was last seen on Highland Avenue in Covington on April 27th. Ford's cell phone was last pinged a short time later in West Price Hill. Police are looking for any information that may help. Kentucky State news. The ACLU of Kentucky and others are suing to block Kentucky's recent adoption of Senate Bill 150. The group claims the bill addressing transgender youth is unconstitutional. Opposing sides are mainly clashing on the decision of transgender medical care by the state. Kentucky lawmakers are celebrating the signing of a new bill requiring schools to have AEDs on campus. Schools must keep a defibrillator readily available and be trained to operate the device. Officials hope the devices can help with medical emergencies on site, including a cardiac arrest. Good law, good rule, and guess what? All those kids that got vaxxed are probably going to need it. In Ohio State news, another high-profile tech companies announced an expansion coming to Ohio. Google will build 2 more data centers in Ohio in addition to their current facility in Columbus. The tech giant will add a second location in Columbus and another in Lancaster. And in sports, the Cyclones beat the Toledo Walleyes yesterday 1-0 to move into the second round of the Kelly Cup playoffs. And the Reds fell to the Padres 7-1. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Coming up next, Jamie Spinley. Let's hear what the Brit has to say.
Hello again, Bulldog Nation. The top headlines from around the world. It is to believe that the school shooting yesterday at a Serbia school by a 14-year-old boy was planned about a month ago with other targets in mind. Europe releases first images from the new weather satellite. It is called Meteosat 12. It is located 36,000 kilometers above the equator. Police in Brazil have searched the ex-president's home in the capital of Brasilia. It is to believe that the ex-president forged COVID vaccination records to gain entry into the United States. Yesterday, speaking from The Hague in the Netherlands, President Zelensky has spoken out about Vladimir Putin and said he should be sentenced for his criminal actions. And in sports, Lionel Messi is to leave PSG at the end of the season. It is unclear who he will play for next year. And Cristiano Ronaldo becomes the highest paid athlete in the world. Until tomorrow, take care.